guys, welcome to javaisawesome, and in this video we are going to talk about iterator in Java. So basically iterator is very important concept in the collections, or you can say in the Java also. So for example, if you talk about how iterator will work and what is the purpose of iterator and how we can use the iterator in our collections. So we are going to discuss each and everything inside the this video, and we can discuss also what is the enumeration iterator, list iterator, what are the types of iterators, and how we can iterate our collections. Those things we can discuss in this video. Okay, so let's start now. So here if you see, we have clearly mentioned that, okay, like iterator are used to traverse. Traverse means I have already explained you like how to traverse the particular loop. So how loop will work, same thing we can understand how we can traverse the one collections, okay, through the Java collections. So there are three types of iterators in Java. It's available, and all three types is important in the interview point of view also, because in the so many interviews they will ask what is the iterator, what are the types of iterator, and how we can do work with the iterators. So those questions will come inside the interview room. So please prepare for that and try to focus and understand what is exactly used and the purpose of this particular iterators. Okay, so here is the first point we have discussed about what is the enumeration. So enumeration is one type of the iterator only. So enumeration is initially iterate. The enumeration is initial iterators introduced in the JDK 1.0. So JDK 1.0, it means first version of the JDK only he introduced the enumeration classes, and through that with the help of this enumeration we can iterate our particular collections, and it is only for ordered collections like a vector or hash table. So enumeration having some limit, enumeration will not do work with all those collection implemented classes, but it's only helpful and purposeful when you go with the vector and the hash table. So vector is a collection, but hash table is a map. So in the hash table we can store the value as a key value pair. So we can discuss this thing in the later, but we are going to discuss about the vector, how we can use the enumeration inside the vector. So enumeration can be used for the forward navigation. Forward navigation is whatever the value we have, so we have to start from the top and go to the down one by one. So that is called forward navigations only. Element cannot be removed using the enumerations. Okay, so while doing the enumeration we can't remove the object of the particular collections, which is vectors. Okay, so let's understand practically what this line will say. Okay, then we can focus other topics. Okay, so let me go to our Eclipse and let me create one more class. Okay, so I have pressed already Control N. So enumeration is basically it's to do the work on the legacy classes, okay, which is vector and hash tables only. Okay, so I have written here class. I can press next, and here I will give the basic to iterator. Iterator, and here I will give enumeration iterator test. So this is our class I have created, which is a user defined class, and inside this class I will try to explain you what is exactly enumeration and how it will work. So enumeration is traversing the particular collections, which is work on the vector. So I am going to create one vector object, and inside the vector I will put some data. Okay, and then after we can try to traverse those data. Okay, so main method is also created, very nice. And here I will create one vector. Okay, so let me create vectors. So vector, and inside the vector I don't want to give any type safe. Okay, I will write v equal to new vector. Okay, and enter. So our vector is created. Now I will put some data inside the vector. So v dot add, I have given some data called 10. Okay, I will copy this and I will paste it 5 times or 3 times, 4 times, like that. Okay, so I have pasted 5 times. Here I will give something called Java. Here I will give something called 50, and here I will give Java is, and here I will give Java is awesome. So AWSOM. So this is the value I have stored inside the vector, and vector is a legacy classes. Legacy classes means the class which is introduced in the first version of the Java or JDK. So that is called a legacy classes, you can say. In my time I have not understood what is the legacy exactly. So legacy means like what are the old classes which is came in the Java 1.0 version, or that classes you can consider as a legacy classes. So let me open this class implementation, and I will show you like this is come inside the 1.0 version. Okay, let's go here and now try to print this data. So one way is s out, and we can just print the v. So through that you can store all those data. Okay, so you can print all those data here through the v. It's internally called the what we called this is internally called the toString method, and it will print all those data. But I don't want to print like that. Okay, I want to print something like what we called one by one element. Okay, so for that we can take the help of for loop, or enhancement for loop also we can take, and here you can write object v colon v. That is also possible, and here you can print it. Okay, and here you can write b. So if you write b here and if you try to print it, you can able to print. But collection is saying like, hey, don't iterate me through the loop. If you go with the loop, it will take lots of time. The time complexity will be very not good. So time complexity will not good if you go with the loop or something else. Okay, so it's suggesting us, like collection is suggesting us to do the iterations or do the operations with our collection with the help of iterator only. Okay, other like that is the one way, but we can do with the loop also, but loop is not giving the better performance. So that time you have to go with the iterator. Okay, so let me write iterator code to traverse the vector collection. Okay, vector collections. So how we can write it? So for example, if you go with the vector, so we can use the enumerations. So as of now we have discussed like we have 3 types of the iterator: enumeration, iterator, or list iterator. So let's go with the enumerations. So while creating an object for the enumerations, we can write collections. Okay, collections, and after the collections it's a utility class collections and dot enumerations. You can write enumeration. Okay, so through that we can create a object for the particular collections, and in the enumerations we can pass our vector. Okay, give the semicolons. So vector is assigned inside the enumerations, and through that we can create an object for the enumeration list, assign this value. Okay, so if you try to assign it, it's not assigning. So let me do one thing. I will write here enumerations, ENUMERATION. So enumerations, so java.util, it's an interface enumerations, and I will define one variables like enumeration list. Enumeration list I will give the name, and you can see here properly we have created the object for enumerations. So enumeration is a one of the interface, and I have created the reference variable for that using the collections utility class with enumeration methods, and I have passed my vector. So this is the vector data object I have passed, which is the reference. Okay, now we got a power to iterate these vectors. How? So now we can use one while loop. Yes, you can use one while loop, and here you can see we have written while loop. So you have to write this enumeration with the help of the while loop. So we have created one enumeration list and having a method called inside this has more elements. Okay, so this method we have to write. So let me remove first. So we have written while, so we can take the help of enumeration list and has more element we can write. So it will give one by one element. So right now it's pointing the index number -1, you can say. Okay, if you want to print value of those particular place like index number 1, so you have to write like enumeration has list dot has code has more elements, or you can go with the next element. Okay, so you have a method called next element which is available in the enumerations, so you can write it. So right now your cursor is pointing this vector which is point number -1, and once you call this enumeration dot next element, it will go to the next element which is index number 0, and it will print those data. Again it will go here and it will check like enumeration list dot has more elements. Yes, elements is there, it will come inside this, and again it will take the next element. Okay, which is next element it will take, it will print, it will go again, it will check, okay, again available, true, it is written true, and once it is written true, it will go come here and it will print the next element. It will come here once, so this will become true, it will print this javaisawesome also. After that, once it is goes to the enumeration list and has more element, that time there is no value after that, so it will return false. So once it is written false, it will not go inside the while loop, and your all elements is already printed. Okay, let me run. So if I run, you can see all those your value. So this is the power of enumerations, and we are using the enumeration for iterating the legacy classes basically. So legacy classes means like a vector or hash table, those are the legacy classes, and we are using this enumeration to iterate those legacy classes only. We can iterate the array list also, but I don't want to do it. You can just go and practice with the help of the like array list also. With the enumeration we can do no issue. Okay. So as of now we understood what is the enumeration and how it's working. So this is the enumeration method only, has more element, and next element you have to remember it. So once you remember this two method or this like how to create an object for the enumeration, collection dot enumeration and pass the our object reference. So that is the important points you have to remember, and we can achieve the enumeration iteration. So sometimes interviewer will tell you, can you write a code for the enumeration? Can you write a code for the iterator? Can you please write a code for the list iterator? So you have to write it. Okay. So for that I have tell you, like, this is the enumeration is interface. We have created the object with the enumeration. We have a store inside this, and we have put it one while loop. After the while loop, we are iterating one more element, and we are checking like it's available or not next element, and then if it is available, we are printing it. Okay, it's clear. Now if we talk about the iterator, so iterator is a universal iterator introduced in JDK 1.2. Enumeration is introduced in JDK 1.0, but iterator is introduced in the JDK 1.2 and can be used for the any collection. Any collection means set, list, queue, anything. Iterator can be used for the forward navigation only. It's also a forward only, but element can be removed using the iterator if remove method is supported. For example, if I talk about the enumeration, so there is no it will not, it's like element cannot be removed, but in the iterator, if the iterator say like element can be removed using the iterator if remove method is supported, and here clearly it's mentioned like element cannot be removed using the enumeration. So let's test it also. Okay, so here I am going, and while doing the iterations I am thinking to delete one element. Okay, so for example, I want to delete 50. I want to delete 50. So what I will do is here, I will do one thing. I will write b dot remove, and I will give the index number 2. I will give the index number 2. So view dot remove index number 2 I have given. Okay, so but let us do one thing. From the enumerations I will try to remove. So enumerations, so enumeration list dot remove. So remove method is not there in the enumerations list, but we have like that. So let me try with the delete with the enumerations list first. It's deleted or not. So if you see here, it's saying like exception thread means concurrent modification exception, and we can't delete the value of those. Okay, so I hope you understood, like we can't remove any element from the vector while doing the work with the enumerations. Okay, but we can do with the iterator. Okay, so let's go and take one example of the iterator also, and we can apply the iterator in any of the object. So let's create one more class here. So control N, give the class name iterator test, and this is the class name I have created. Let me create the main methods and create the array list. Okay, so array list. Okay, let me create the array list, and a equal to, let me give the list equal to new array list, and we have already value in the enumeration, so I will copy this value and I will try to store inside this. Okay, and also at the same time I will try to remove all those value. Okay, so I will modify it to list. Okay, so I hope you understood. Okay, we can just click on the alt and you can press whenever you have to change it, and we can do it. So for example, I have a cursor here, so I will select the alt, and then after I will click here, I will click here, I will click here, and I have already pressed the alt also. And now we can remove the data. You can write any variable name, Prince Kumar. So at the same time, we can write multiple pointers, and we can write a code for that. Okay. So this is the one shortcut I have just explained you so that you can understood. You can't think like this is a magic. Okay. So this is a simple thing only. Let me remove, and I will write here list. Okay. So this is the array list I have created. So once array list is created, now I want to store like what we called I want to create a iterator. So create iterator and traverse the collection. So how can I create iterator? Simple iterator we can create with the using the list. So we have a list dot iterate. So to the iterator we can create a iterator and we can assign those object. Okay. So we have created one iterator. So iterator is created, and now using this iterator we can iterate all those elements. So this is the traversing. And inside this iterator we can write iterator dot hasNext hasNext. Okay, we have a method called hasNext. So it will check like in the iterator value is there or not. So as of now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 value we have. If it is blank, it will give the false in the first time only. So it will check only if data is available or not first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. If data is available, it will go inside this. So once it will go inside this, I will print something like iterator.next. Iterator.next. Okay. If you run this code, you can see what is the work of iterators. Okay. Yeah, it's printed. Fine. Let me close all those classes. Okay, so all classes is closed. Let me open one iterator and let me run once again. Okay, we have run, it's fine. Now I want to delete some of the object while iterations only. So I will write here a list or something like iterators. So iterator dot remove. Yeah, in iterator having some remove methods. Okay, so iterators having a remove methods. Let me try it. What is the output? Nothing output. Illegal state exception we are getting. Okay, let me remove this one and let me try to remove some value called list dot remove index number 2. Index number 2 value I want to remove this, which is 0, 1, 2 is nothing but 50. Let me run once. So you can see like we are getting the exception again. Okay, concurrent modification exception we are getting. Okay, so this will happen, but it's a power of the exception is like it will able to delete it. No issue in that. Okay, concurrent modification exception we are getting, but that is not a issue. Okay, let me try with something like list iterator and iterator having a one remove methods. For each remaining iterators, remove methods we have. So if I call the remove methods, it's giving the exception also, but we can test it, no issue. Okay, so illegal state of the exceptions, why we are getting? So this is the array list, this is not a thread safe. Okay, and we are using the iterators. Okay, that is also fine, but the problem is we are not able to delete the element inside this. Why we are not able to delete? This is my question. Okay. So what we can do next? So okay, I will cover this type, like how iterator will delete the elements in the particular things. Okay, so for that we can do one things, like let's go to the Google's and check it out. Okay, and how to delete element while iteration, while iterating in Java. So the element can be removed from the collection using the iterator methods. Remove. This method remove the current element in the collections. If the remove method is present, proceed by the next methods. Then the exception, illegal state exception is thrown. Okay. So let me check like how we can use those things. Okay. So if you go here, you can see here. So this is the array list he created. He put it some data, and now he used one loop. He printed it. Now he created one iterator, and I dot hasNext. Okay, fine. And str equal to a string of I dot next. So he getting the data which is I dot next, and he checking like str dot equals is orange, then I dot remove system dot out dot println and break it. Okay, so this is the code he have written, and again he tried to print all those elements. Okay. So through that we can take the proof. Okay, fine. So what we can do in my case also, we can do one thing. What we can do is go to the here classes. Okay, and here we have written the iterators. So we have to remove the element. Okay, while iterating. So what I will do is, like, I will create here one if conditions, and I will write here like iterator dot next. So we got one object, right? And those object, it's object type. So first I want to convert it into the int. Okay. And okay, I want to convert it to int. Okay. So let me do one thing. So this is the iterators. Okay, right? This will give me one object type, and here I will say equal to object of 50. So if it is matched with the 50, let me give this is the capital O. If it is 50 and if it is match, please remove it. So I will call like iterator dot remove those current element, and then again I will break it. Okay, this is the one things we can do, and after that we can try to print it. So if we try to print it every elements, and we can print with the help of, let me see how he printed. So he printed using the a list. What is the a list? So a list is nothing but, okay, actual object he printed. So let me go, and here we can print our list. Okay, let me run this code. So if you see here, 50 is removed, right? 50 is removed. If you put one more conditions like hey, when this conditions is matched, we have to remove this value also. So we can write here something like I want to remove Java. So Java I want to remove, so I have write condition or also. it means this one or this one, any one is true, you have to remove it. So it's removed 10, it's already there, so 10 will be there, 50, and 50 is, I think it's came now, so 50 is not deleted, only Java is deleted. Okay, why 50 is not deleted? Why 50 is not deleted? Because we are removing, if this one is true, remove this element, and if this one is true, remove this element, but it's not deleting. Okay, no issue, fine. But as of now you have seen like 50 is deleted in our codes, and we are able to see. So we have given the proof like, okay, while iterating the while iterating any collections, we can remove the element while using this method iterator.remove, but through the enumerations we can't do it. Okay, so that is possible. Okay, thank you. Let's go to our slide and talk about something like iterators. So if you talk about the iterators, like, so what is the iterator in Java? So iterator is a interface in the collection framework that allow you to traverse through the element of the collection and remove them if needed. It's provide a uniform way to access the element of the various collection types such as a list, set, queue. In all of that you can do the operations with the iterators. An iterator is typically used in the loop to iterate through the elements of the collection. It's provide the method called hasNext. So we have already used the hasNext. We have used the next also. We have used the remove also. So using the returns true if there are the more elements in the collections. hasNext will check returns true if there are the more elements in the collections, and returns the next element in the collections. Next will be return the next element of the collections, and remove will remove the last elements returned by the iterator from the collections. Here is the example of how to use the iterator in Java. So you can write a code like that. Okay, we can create a one array list, we can put some name, and we can create a iterators, names.iterator, and we can write a code for that, iterator.hasNext. We can iterate it and we can iterate it. Now if you want to write some more times, if you want to remove some data, so you can write iterators, and after inside the iterator you can write iterator.remove. So through that we can modify the list of the print each element. Remove the element from the list using the iterator, so you can remove like that. Okay, so those are the things you can just go and check out. Okay, now next topic we can cover like comparable and comparators, but before going to that topics, we have some topics like we have already discussed enumeration, iterators, and now we need to discuss the list iterator. So what is the basically list iterator? So list iterator is a iterator for the list type collection and support bidirectional navigation. What is the bidirectional navigation? Means you can iterate your loop in the forward direction or backward direction also. So that is the support having a list iterator, and it is only doing the work on the list. Okay, so do one thing, go to the Eclipse and try the some what we call say example. Okay, try with some example. Okay, so this is the classes we have. So let me copy this code and create one more class which is called a list iterator test. And after that we can create one main methods, and inside this main method we can create one array. So for example, I need to create some array and I want to put something 20, 50, 20, 50, 100, and here I will write something like 200. Okay, this is the data. I have created the iterator, so I have to write here list iterators. So how we can create list iterator? So just change the list iterator. So you can see the list iterator, and also store the object like a list iterators. So list iterators, where is the list iterators? Let me remove this one and put your cursor here, and then click on the control 1. Once you press the control 1, you can hit the enter button. It will create an automatic object for that list iterator. Okay, so list iterator object will be created. Now we can use this one whenever it's required. List iterators, but I don't want to use this one. So okay, just remove it. Okay, format your code. List iterator object is created. List iterator and traverse the collection. Okay, now I will write the forward direction first. So write while, and inside the while you can write list iterator. So list iterator dot hasNext only. We have a methods, so we can use the hasNext, and we can go inside this and we can print the data also. So if you go inside this and you want to print the data, so you can write list iterators, and in the list iterator you can call the next, so you can get the data. And if you see, we have printed data. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 200 is printed. Now I want to, this is the forward direction, so let me write forward direction iterate iterations. Now I want to write backward directions. So I will write here backward direction iterations. So Control Shift F, and also you can write here, you have to change this method only. So you have to write here list iterator dot has previous. So you have to start with the previous, which is the last element it will check, and here also you have to give like has next and has previous. We have already discussed, and we can discuss the next element. So next, has next, previous index, we have some methods. So we can take those next only, and it will iterate back from the previously, and we can do. So it's giving something like wrong, no such element exception in the thread main. Okay, so this is the exception we are getting. Line number 20. So here only we are getting. Okay, so I will call this is a has previous. We have already used, and for that we have a one method called previous. Okay, so you have to remember, because so many times we are confused, like what we can use for the backward direction, what we can use for the forward direction. So for forward direction we have to remember like has next or next, but for the backward direction we have to remember has previous, and previous we have a methods. Through that we can iterate our what we can say list. Okay, let me print here one s out, and also print one line. Okay, and now I will show you like what is the output for that. Okay, what is the backward or forward directions output. So let me open it. So here you can see 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, but while going with the backward direction it will print first 200, 100, 50 and then 10. So based on your requirement you can use the list iterator, and it's only used for the list. Okay, it's only for use for the list. if you want to delete some particular element, okay, so also you can use those things. So for example, I want to delete some element, so we can check this one. Okay, so I will write here remove and add some element, element. So here I will remove this one, and now I will write hasNext inside this, like if whatever the object I have, so I have written is list iterators, and list iterators dot remove. I will check the remove method is there or not. Yeah, it's there, having a remove methods, so we can use it, and we can do one thing. So list iterators dot next, so we can get the object, and we can compare those object with some other object, which is for example 10 only. I want to remove 10, so here I will call what we call list iterators dot remove. Okay, and let me run, and I will show you like what is the actual value we have right now. So let me print it. So list I can print. Okay, if I run this code, you can see the behaviors. Okay, so if you see here, so this is the like forward directions, it's printed. This is the backward directions, it's printed. And now we can see like our final list is 20, 50, 100 or 200. Understood? Yeah, understood. For example, list iterators. So list iterators dot add object. If I want to add some 40, because 40 is not there inside this, and if I run this, you can say you can see here I'm able to add the value also. So while doing your work with the list iterators, we can able to remove the element, we can able to add the element, maybe we can do all those operations while working with the list iterator. So that is very important concept. Okay guys, I hope you understood iterator, list iterators. Okay, I assume that like you can understand. So as of now we have covered like what is the enumeration, what is the iterator, and what is the list iterator, and how we are using it. I have shown you the practical also, and you have to practice it, then only you can understood, and we can iterate the collections. Okay, and in the so many company or interview, you can see these questions like how we can iterate the particular collections. Okay, so that is very important. And I have discussed those things also, like what is the iterators in Java. This is the example you can see. Now in the next we can see like what is the comparable, comparators, and we have already discussed the enumerations, list iterator in Java, and then after we can do one project. Okay, as of now that is fine. Thank you so much.